Hello, and welcome to the Working Week. IB, Airport Sergeant Bill Kenny. And you, as always, even on a Monday, may be whomever you wish to be, as we welcome Richie Havens to Nightside.
Every night I just wanna go out and get out of my head. Every day I don't wanna get up, get out of my bed. Yes, yes. Every night I just wanna go out and ooh, that's all I want to do, yes. But tonight I just wanna stay here and be with you. Just be with you. I love you, mama. Don't you be so mean. Every day I lean on my lamppost, wasting my time. Every night I lay on my pillow, resting my mind. Every morning brings a new day, and every night that day is through. But tonight I just want to stay here and be with you. Yes, be with you. Don't be so mean. You know I need you, mama. Every night I lean on my lamppost, wasting my time. Every night I lay on my pillow, resting my mind. Every morning brings a new day. Every night that day is through. But tonight I just want to stay and be with you. Just be with you.
Every night I just want to lay out. Love that record to death, and that's my current favorite interpretation for a very obvious reason. Welcome into the warm Nightside on a Monday night, and a special welcome to I'm like a kid at a candy store here to Richie Havens. This is El Slick time for me. I'll tell you that right now. I'm getting a kick out of this. Welcome to Frankfurt on behalf of hundreds of millions of people, hopefully all of whom know you're here. This is a kick for me. Richie will be in the Singkasten tomorrow night, which is, and I had someone write this down, and now I can't read it. There it is. Bronnerstrasse. That may or may not be correct, so we'll find out later. Right here in Frankfurt at the Singkasten, which is, if you're familiar with Frankfurt, is near the Woolworths, but if you're not familiar with Frankfurt, it's still near the Woolworths. And every night is from the album of last year, I guess, but I don't know when from last year, so let's begin there. The album was Connections.
That's right. At the end of last year, practically. I think we finished it in November. Came out sort of a little after that.
So you were in time for the Christmas rush on that, or...
Yes, which sometimes is not such a good thing. Because it's just everybody's trying to buy shoes and socks and everything else, you know.
Right.
But it was really interesting. It's interesting how there's always a sequence to the year where you can always just about tell when most of the records are going to come out at the same time. I think all the companies really think alike, you know, in that sense. It's kind of a over-competitive way of doing it, but it works for some people.
Okay, because now, like, Connections was produced, and I'm going to ruin his name, and I apologize wherever you are, Charles. It's not my fault. I have a bad tongue, and I just brush my teeth. I can't do anything with them. Charles Calello.
Right.
My mother would be proud. All right, which, as I remember it, is not a name that has been surfacing on a lot of your past albums.
Oh, no, that's true. Charles, I worked with him for the first time then, actually. I've known Charles for a while. He's a producer who's done quite a few things for many, many years. He actually started out with the Four Seasons, believe it or not. I mean, that's far back. And also Frank Sinatra he's done. I mean, he's going from one end to the other, you know, so he's really in there. He did the Rex Smith album also.
Right. Right, because how did you meet up with Charles? Was he just the logical choice at that point in your career?
No, he was a person who I felt for these particular songs that I was doing, he would pretty much work well. We could work well together. He's really an arranger for the most part, but he really has produced some very fine albums also. So it's basically on a sense of arranging a few things and then being together on doing it. So it's actually a joint effort.
I want to come back and talk about, in essence, how you came by the tunes that are on Connections, because there's a lot of treatments that you give tunes that a lot of people are familiar with. After we play something that I just found this out tonight, I'd been wondering about this for months. I was dumber than dirt on the Girl, the Gold Watch, and everything, as to how this tune came about. This is not on any of the albums, but we'll be back with Richie after we play it.
There's some kind of magic that goes by us. Take for granted like night and day. It's more precious than gold and diamond. Its true worth is hard to say. But when you realize the value of time and who to spend it with, then you are the lucky one. You got the girl, the gold watch, and everything. You got the girl, the gold watch, and everything. You relate to someone special. She completes you in a special way. Time and love are at your command. When she's in your arms, moments turn to days. When you realize the value of time, who to spend it with, then you are the lucky one. You got the girl, the gold watch, and everything. You got the girl, the gold watch, and everything. You got the girl, the gold watch, and everything, everything, you got everything. You got the girl, the gold watch, and everything, everything, everything. You got the girl, the gold watch, and everything, everything. You got everything, everything. It's magic.
girl, the gold watch, and everything, but if you don't have the singer, you don't have it. Our guest happens to be the singer. Richie Havens is our guest, and we were talking actually before we got started here tonight that you were like, where'd that come from? When you saw that, that's one of the few titles in recent years that we've gotten in regards to your career, and that apparently is from a television show that I have never seen, which doesn't say much for me, but seriously, where is it actually from?
Right. There's a book out called The Girl, the Go Watch, and Everything. They made a television program out of it, which is becoming a series actually in fall this year in the States. It's a very interesting book. It's a book about a man who is a very rich man. He has a nephew and a little company that goes around helping people by giving away a lot of money. It's somewhat like The Millionaire, but the thing is, how he gets the money is he has this beautiful gold watch that stops time. So he goes and he does all these little weird things, and he changes the world around to make it go a little better. And he dies in the beginning of the program, and he leaves the gold watch to his nephew, and that's how the program begins. And his nephew doesn't know what the watch is, because that from this rich uncle, that's all he's left him, you know. So he feels cheated until he finds out what the watch does, and then it's an adventure from then on.
That sounds fascinating.
It's the title song.
I was say, hopefully.
I was very surprised to see it. Yeah.
I was going to say, do you have any idea as to how you came to be selected as the person to back it?
To sing
it, to back it. Listen to me.
Well, there was a friend of mine who he's the manager actually of a group, and he partially wrote the song with one of the fellas from the group, and they had submitted it to Paramount for usage for the program, and Paramount, I sort of did the demo for him, and Paramount just loved it enough to say, let's get this guy to sing this song, because this is what we really need for it. So it turned out in the end that this particular song wasn't really used, but the song that was on the other side was used, which they had come into from somewhere else, and but they actually put it out on a single, both sides. The other side was not called The Girl, the Go Watch and Everything, which is very interesting.
Yes, indeed. Ruth is stranger than Bridget, as the case may be. About 18 minutes after the hour, talking to the gold watch and everything. For those who wondered what the dollar do today, I found this out at no little expense. It went down 1 pfennig tomorrow at military bank facilities, 2 mark and 10 pfennig. But around here, 1 entertainment dollar gets you Richie Havens, who is our guest tonight. And we were talking about the fact that people bring you material, it would seem, or they have you in mind. Can we talk about how some of the things from Connections that we started with came about? I'm thinking like in terms of Dreams, which we are going to hear, but not quite yet, because I want to ask how do you approach a song like Stevie Nicks tune, something that's very heavily identified with Stevie and Fleetwood Mac, and put a twist in it, and it's yours now.
Well, I tell you the truth, the only way I really get to sing any song is because it has to affect me in a certain kind of way. And that particular song really, off the whole album, that was a song that really, really did something to me. And I never really thought I would even be able to sing that kind of song, because I love Stevie Nicks' voice. I wish I could have sang it with it, you know, at that point, but it didn't happen. But anyway, I really loved it, and she has a very haunting voice. I used to hear it in my head all the time. So I decided, this is a good song. I'm going to see if I can sing this. And it worked out well. It really worked out. I love that song.
I would agree that it worked out well, and if you have yet to pick up a copy of Connections, let's play Dreams so you can hear for yourself how well it worked out.
Carefully to the sound of loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost. What you had and what you lost. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You will know. Well, here I go again, and I see the crystal vision. I keep my vision to myself. It's only me that wants to wrap around your dreams. Well, have you any dreams you like to sell? Since loneliness like a heartbeat drives you mad, the stillness of remembering what you had, and what you lost. What you had and what you lost. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. You will know. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Oh, women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. You will know. You will know. You will know. You will know.
Oh, yeah, that's really nice. Now I'm having a hard time deciding what's my very favorite Richie Havens track, but I've got Richie Havens here to help me decide. If you're just joining us, Richie is our guest tonight, and he'll be the guest of the Singkasten, which is here in Frankfurt tomorrow night, located, and this time I'm almost going to get it right, located in Brunnerstrasse, which is near the Woolworths, and it may be there. On the other hand, you may have to look around for it. It's the Singkasten here in Frankfurt, though. And what I want to talk about here in terms of working live, Richie, if we can, is, to me, your studio albums always, they're just there. I mean, they're perfect. And there's obviously the work of a man who enjoys working in the studio, but I've seen you live because we have the Lorelei poster still here from last year, so I know you enjoy working live. How do you change, do I want to say your approach, or what you do in order to be as up as you are on stage and yet be as up as you are for machines in the studio?
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, it is in my mind, foremost who I'm singing to beyond the studio,
right,
and why I'm in there doing it, in the first place. But it's also the fact that I really have the ability to try to at least put it together in a way that sometimes it's impossible to get on a stage. You know, so it offers a slightly different approach in terms of being everything being able to be heard over being somewhere where there's lots of distractions too. But I tried to do the same thing in both places, enjoy myself doing it.
Is there I've talked with artists who have difficulty, I want to say, integrating one career with the other. Do you have that kind of, or is one just an extension of the other?
I think for me, it really is that way. I really feel that what I really do is sing for people live. That's what I've been doing since I started, is really singing for people sitting right there in front of me. And that the records, in my mind, since I really spent 7 years singing for people before I ever recorded in Greenwich Village, the records, in a sense, were to me like a present for all the people who had already heard me sing for 6 years. You know, it started out that way. So it's still, in a sense, I'm still recording a backlog, in a sense, of material that I love to sing for that people have heard me sing, and that I would have loved to record for them so that they could at least have that, instead of a memory of seeing it, you know, at least have it on record as well. So it's a mixture of both now. Mixture of new stuff and things that people have heard me sing. So it brings kind of like the live thing into the studio in that sense.
I want to break and play, I don't know, an audio souvenir for those who have enjoyed this tune as much as I have in the past. I'm thinking of Fred in Switzerland, who's forever writing in and asking for it. Some great stuff from an earlier album, The End of the Beginning, and I'm Not in Love.
I'm not in love, so don't forget it. It's just a silly phase I'm going through. I'd like to see you, but then again, I know you don't mean that much to me. I'm not in love, no, 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 no. I'd like to call you, but then again, I know you don't mean that much to me. So if I call you, don't make a fuss. Please don't tell your friends about the two of us. I'm not in love, no, 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 no. I keep your picture upon my wall. It hides a messy stain that's lying there. So don't you ask me to give it back. I know it doesn't mean that much to me. I'm not in love, no, 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 no. time for me, girl. Ooh, you wait a long time. Ooh, you wait a long time for me, girl. Ooh, you wait a long time. I'm not in love, so don't forget it. It's just a silly phase I'm going through. So if I call you, don't make a fuss. Don't tell your friends about the two of us. I'm not in love. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
No, I'm not in love, not even a little bit. Actually, I'm in the radio with Richie Havens on Nightside on a Monday night. For those taking notes at home, that covers everything. There'll be a quiz at the end of the show, and you have to get at least a 65 to pass. Otherwise, you have to listen to news at midnight. No, you don't have to listen to news anyway at midnight. And we were talking off mic about how 10cc almost held a gun to your head to make you play. No, I think that talks about, in a sense, the story relates to what I would call, I guess, the pervasiveness of the radio. You were talking about how you kept hearing it over and over again.
In Hawaii, all day long, I think they played it 40 times a day. It was incredible. It was a big hit in Hawaii, and they just loved it. Every station, you turn the radio from one to the next, and it would be on the next station, and you turn it down, and 2 songs later, it'd come on again. And you go back to the other station, it would come on again, you know. And it just sort of seeped right through my head, and I couldn't get it out of my head either. It was such a haunting melody, and with the voices and the way they really made that, I didn't even realize how they made it. And, you know, and it was very interesting sound to me, and it just haunted me to death. I just fell in love with it, mostly because it speaks about the way sometimes men think without ever saying anything about it, you know. So they sort of revealed a little bit to me of the sensitivity of men, you know, in this very interesting way, which is not captured on in mostly any music that I've heard before. That attitude of being in love, which a lot of men are, and they never want to tell the girl they love her. You know, they like love from afar, you know. And I think it's one of the kind of natural approaches to real infatuation is the word, really. But it was very interesting. It haunted me for about 2 weeks, that song. So I ended up coming back to the States. I was recording at the time. I said, I got to do this song because this is a beautiful song. I never heard a man tell the truth about himself the way that men sometimes keep that from everybody else, and it came on like that.
So out of self-defense, he went into the studio.
Yes.
All right, because what I'm wondering about in terms of that, because that's a hallmark tune for 10cc. I mean, you ask somebody to name a hit by 10cc, and I think anywhere in the world where they have record players, that's one of the ones they come up with. So again, it's almost back to the same kind of a question I asked you about Dreams, because it's a beautiful reading that you get, and it's definitely a Richie Havens reading. But do you remember how you went about getting that of yourself in there? Because you can still hear 10cc.
It's interesting, you know. It's interesting because I'll tell you the honest truth. There are most of the tunes that I play that are other people's songs. I approach them the way I heard them, and interestingly enough, I play the guitar in an open tuning, which actually changes the sound. of the way the chord structure is made. But in fact, I usually use the same chords that are on the record, and I usually try to sing it the way it really came across to me and it felt. And I always think I'm getting close to the way I really felt it, and everybody thinks it's so different. I think it has to do with the guitar, actually. It changes the sound, and the fact that sometimes I feel a song in a different tempo. That too might be the way it comes, that it sounds very different from the original, is that it might be a different tempo. The reading itself might be because it's in a different tempo. And that's something that I could really do, actually.
Have you ever gotten any response back from some of the people whose tunes you've done? I mean, have you ever run into Eric Goldman and had him say, you know, if I get close to you, Havens, I'm going to hit you right in the nose for that? Or
it's never negative. It's always a positive.
How interesting that you would do that?
Yes, it's always a positive. They are so surprised, you know, that I would even like this song, for that matter. You know, I mean, that it would be a song that would be of my taste, you know, and that's what surprises a lot of people in the songs that I do, because they just don't imagine that I would do it in the first place, you know, and lots of nice things like that happen to me. I happen to love these tunes, so it's mutual in that sense.
All right, I want to break and play Mama, We're Gonna Dance with your kind indulgence, if we can, because that's a tune I like, even though I can't play the guitar or sing or anything else for that matter. And then come back and talk about, well, for a lot of people, Richie Havens and Woodstock are almost interchangeable words, that's great, but by my watch it's 1981, and I want to come back and talk about how that haunts you or helps you as we go along. After we play Mama, We're Gonna Dance.
Out on the porch of my folks who run down the house, dreaming about all the places to see, how they'd all ever come about for me. Well, I always wanted to sing and travel and play on somebody's guitar. I knew down deep it's no secret to keep, I wanted to be a star. Melody line goes fine here, you can hear some producers say, but there's only a few who would listen to you and let you play a song your way. Well, I'll go on trying, some go on lying, I know I'll have my chance. And it won't be long, they'll be playing my song, we'll have our turn to dance. We're gonna dance, Mama, we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance, Mama, we're gonna dance. I'm like that old man river, trying hard to find the sea. And I know I want all my music to flow, this I know, just as free as I can be. Now you know it's alright to be a leader of men if you know how to work your show. Well, I'm doing pretty well, I ain't raising much hell, I know where I want to go. So I'll keep on trying, well, some go on lying, I know I'll have my chance. And Mama, it won't be long, they'll be playing my song, and we'll have our turn to dance. Mama, we're gonna dance, we're gonna dance, we're gonna dance, Mama, we're gonna dance. I'm like that old man river, trying hard to find the sea. And I know I want all my music to flow, this I know, just as free as I can be. Mama, we're gonna dance, we're gonna dance, we're gonna dance, Mama, we're gonna dance. I'm like that old man river, trying hard to find the sea. And I know I want all my music to flow, this I know, just as free
Mama, we're going to dance. If you've been dancing, you have to sit down again, because now we're going to talk. Mama, we're going to talk now. Richie Havens is our guest. Mama, we're going to dance from Connections. Richie in the Singkasten tomorrow night in Brunnerstrasse. And it's a long way from, where's Max Yasgur, rest his soul, his mud-packed farm. I remember, never mind what I remember. And from there to a very intimate club, the size of the Singkasten. And I want to talk about it, if you want to, actually how you wound up getting involved in Woodstock, and the fact that people like me, 12 years on, are still going, you remember Richie Havens from Woodstock, don't you?
Well, Woodstock was a very interesting time in the days of the 60s. It was a very interesting time because it was actually, to me, the culmination of the live festival attitude in a very positive way. The thing about it was that no one actually knew it was going to turn out that way, not even the promoters. And that probably is the most beautiful part of the whole show, the whole 3 days, was that no one expected that many people. The promoters actually thought they'd get about 100,000, you know. About 950,000 showed up, you know, and it was just crazy. No, it really was more. Well, that's, you know how the newspapers, they say 500 because they don't want anybody to think that. Next time it might be 2 million, you know. They said 900, we try to make it 2 million the next time. But so basically it was about that. Not everybody was in the field, though. They forget that. It started out in art and music festival. The name of it originally was an Aquarian Art and Music Festival, which is very interesting because it turned out to be called Woodstock. And it wasn't even in Woodstock. It was above Woodstock a little bit because they tried to have it in Woodstock, and that was part of the problem, was that why it got moved to Max's farm. And once it was there, it was almost uncontrollable. People started coming a week before, you know, because the newspapers were talking about it getting ready to happen in Woodstock. And then they also, of course, reported that it was moved to Max's farm. So for a week before, everybody was coming up there. They probably had about 60,000 people before the 2 days before it started. And no one really expected it. And I think that was I call it a divine accident, you know, cosmic accident, you know, because there was quite a few different feelings about being there in the music. There was lots of things going on in the country that were emotional to people, and so the young people, of course, went to hear music, and it turned out to be a miracle, you know, so to speak. And everyone who had gone was invited to come to a normal festival, normal 3-day rock festival, because those were the things of the day. And I had probably been to 7 or 8 festivals before Woodstock, but they were constantly growing in number, because the idea, of course, started with Monterey Pop, which was a couple of years before that, actually, and was also a free concert at the time. So the idea of the be-ins and the free concerts in the parks reveled itself up to be what we now call music festivals. And that's how it started. We all were invited to come, and it was really great for the entertainers because we all knew each other over the years. We'd been playing off and on. Most of us had been in Greenwich Village together, passing the basket around, you know, and surviving together. But at the same time, what happened was, by this time, mostly everybody had recorded records and gone out on the road and was doing a lot of things. And we always welcomed festivals because it meant we could all get together backstage and see each other once again, you know, after 2 years on the road and not seeing each other for a while, and jam and play music. So it was really an ideal situation, which is why I think a lot of us went to play in it, you know, in that sense, to get together and to play music for the people, and it was incredible. The thing that most, I think, sort of put me in shock to a certain degree was that I was supposed to be 5th on the stage, and I had gotten there that morning without a hitch. We drove right up, 6 o'clock we left, we got there about 8:39, to the hotel, which was 7 miles away from the field. And the whole thing was that all the entertainers met at the hotel, and they were going to be driven to the field. The fact was that they couldn't drive anybody to the field because there wasn't a road to drive on. They were all blocked. So all the entertainers were 7 miles stuck away from the field. So they finally thought, well, we'll get a helicopter. And then there wasn't any helicopter. Then, oh, yes, we got one. Then, no, it ain't coming. Then, and about 3:30 in the afternoon, they finally got one. So because I had an acoustic guitar and my band was very acoustic, we were the first ones to fly over, which meant, Havens, will you please go on first? We're about 3 hours late, and the people are going to start going. I said, oh, don't do this to me, please. I'm first. You want them to kill me now, right? For your lateness, they're going to kill me out there, you know. So he says, oh, no, please, you got to go on. There's nobody else here. We can't bring any amps. We can't get anything to the field. So I said, okay, all right. Okay, you got me again this time, Michael. So, okay, here we go. I went out and I talked for a little while because it was the most incredible thing I ever seen in my life. I mean, there was a sea of people as far as you could see, and notwithstanding the fact that it went up to a hill, and just as many people were on the other side of the hill going back down the other side, which you didn't even see, you know. And the same thing was, the reason I think it also was successful was because for the first time they had speakers with the music going back as far to where the people were. And, usually the sound was coming off the stage and the people in the back were just so restless they couldn't really hear anything. But this was done, thoughtfully enough to have towers going back in a line, sort of like pylons. And they had the sound just as beautifully clear over the hill as we had it in front of the hill. And that's what made the spirit whole, I believe.
Right, for those who didn't get the chance to attend, I went with my cousin because she wanted to see Laura Nero, whom, as I remembered, never did show up. Just realized that 12 years. Right. I'm very slow. Let's play something very obvious here.
Let's go. Let's clear the road, please. Come ahead. What's that? Hey, see you back. Let him through. We're doing for everything to stop. Oh, here they come. Yes, far over. Everybody's ground getting comfortable now? Starting to fit just right? Sit there. Look at all those people around you. Get acquainted. Have a smoke?
To get back to the warning that I've received, you may take it with however many grains of salt you wish, that the brown acid that is circulating around us is not specifically too good. It's suggested that you do stay away from that. Of course, it's your own trip, so be my guest, but please be advised that there is a warning on that one, okay? Elliot from Harvard. The hitchhikers you picked up need the pills from your car. Please go to the information station right away. Louis Chipnick, your brother is in the Fallsburg police station.
Number nine.
Let's welcome Mr. Richie Haven.
Guitar of Mike, please. Guitar Mike.
Who was it? Aristotle that once said youth is wasted on the young. You sit here and you go, boy, you did a lot of crazy, foolish things when you were young. It's amazing sometimes that people have survived to get old. Our guest is Richie Havens. from Woodstock. Like, I didn't know where that was from. Like, there's a person left in the world, complete with all the stuff we were talking about there for the last 4 or 5 minutes, all the traffic and the building of the stage. Have you ever regretted anything like that? Have you ever regretted any of the actions that you've done, or is it?
Not one. Not one. A lot of it was very spontaneous. Like, for instance, like Freedom, it was a very spontaneous. A lot of people don't know that, but it came together right on that stage. You know, I mean, I used to sing "Motherless Child" years ago, and the day was so beautiful. And fortunately for me, I think I was only one of 2 people who were on the stage when the sun was out. So I had a good feeling, and we all were really out, and it was a spontaneous thing, you know, so it was really beautiful.
See, it's not what you know, it's who you know now. Other artists' careers could have been benefited immensely by the sun, but it didn't work out that way. Being in the right place at the right time. There's a Singkasten gig tomorrow night here in Frankfurt on Brunnerstrasse. Not here at AFN. Please don't come here, or it's going to be terrifyingly confusing. Singkasten is where you want to go tomorrow night. And then what happens for you? I mean, you know, Connections goes back a while. Are you gathering material for another record?
I'm getting ready now to do an in-concert album, actually, with the new material and stuff that I'm doing. I'm rehearsing with the band now in the States and putting it together. By the time I go back, probably about 10 days from now, I'll start rehearsing for it, actually. We'll probably record in May or June, sometime like that.
Okay, because I so thoroughly enjoyed, well, I've enjoyed all your work for all these years, and yet it would seem a lot of recording artists, maybe music, maybe lifestyles changed in the 70s, and now a lot of the stuff I'm hearing in the 80s, it sounds like what I remember growing up to as a kid in the 60s. Are we coming back around to that?
You hit the nail right on the head. We have an entire global generation, by the way, that is affected by the music of the 50s and the 60s, for that matter. See, I always try to remind people that the 60s were a product of the 50s, which is very interesting, because in the 50s there were lots of people who sort of stood by rock and roll when all the parents were saying, turn that garbage off, you know, I mean, because older people couldn't hear it. It took me a long time to figure out why. And I figured out that in their day, their music was very, very clear, block-oriented, horns and sections and everything. And here's rock and roll all mishmash for their ears, and they couldn't really distinguish it. And it took me a while to figure that out. But we could distinguish it because we were of it, and it was made by young people for young people. So I think that that particular thing has always fostered generation after generation in terms of attitude and camaraderie and whatever. And now we have a global generation about to have probably another Woodstock. Maybe 8 million people will show up this time, wherever that'll be.
I have a grand total of, as I read this clock, 10 seconds, which is inadequate time for me to say thank you for stopping by tonight. And can I get you to promise at some point in time that you will come back and visit again? Thank you. Thank you a million times over. It's been great.
Thank you.